Hasty climbers have a way of falling fast, don't they? Think about it. You open your phone, and in less than 30 seconds, your brain starts this dirty comparison between how fast everyone else is growing and how much you feel like you're just treading water. It turns into this breathless race where you feel like the only one left behind while everyone else is getting promotions, launching new businesses, and standing on mountain peaks with these winning smiles on social media just to flex on you. The result of all that comparing is always the same terrifying verdict. I call it left behind loser syndrome. You're sitting there in that headspace, and suddenly a video of David Goggins pops up, and you think, man, there's no way anyone can be as cool as this guy. Why can't I be like that? But here's the thing. The truth is actually the exact opposite. The reason seeing successful people makes you feel humiliated instead of motivated is because Instagram only shows you the perfect Iron Man version of them. They never show you the other side of the coin. They don't tell you that David Goggins, this supposedly flawless legend, had to work as a cockroach exterminator at a restaurant just to survive, or that he actually quit and walked away from Navy SEAL training twice. Why don't they mention that? Because victory has 1,000 fathers, but failure is always an orphan. Goggins is just like you and me. He's not some superhuman. He just realized one thing. You aren't behind anyone else because there's no such thing as ahead or behind in this life. This is your game, and you have to play it as who you actually are. The day Goggins figured that out, the game changed for him. He started sharpening his axe, because as long as your axe is blunt, all your effort doesn't mean a thing. Like Leo Tolstoy said, everything comes in time to him who knows how to wait. When Goggins decided to change his life, he didn't go post some #success hashtag on Instagram. He entered what he calls the Darkroom. He says the biggest battles of your life happen in silence and darkness, in places where nobody is cheering for you and no cameras are zoomed in on your face. The Darkroom is where you finally see your real self. While everyone else was making surface-level progress, Goggins was out there running in the dark, building a monster-level discipline because he realized that motivation is a load of crap. When you become one with the path, you don't wait for a good mood. You just get up and clear whatever obstacle is in your way. After watching Goggins' podcasts and digging into this whole darkroom concept, I've identified 3 core principles I want to share with you. Principle number 1, grow in the shade. Look, sometimes you have to move downward or just rest to get ready for your next big move. Maybe you aren't feeling great today and you feel like you're failing, but if you zoom out, you'll see how far you've already come and realize you just need to recover. But there's a big contradiction here. If we know that success takes patience, consistency, and discipline, why does it hurt so much when we don't see immediate results? Why is waiting so painful? It's actually wired into our evolution over thousands of years. Our brains weren't built to see invisible growth. Thousands of years ago, when a lion was charging at our ancestors, they didn't care about the psychological depths of the lion. They just needed to see a physical change on the surface and react fast. Because of that, our brains evolved to value superficial changes way more than hidden growth. So, when you're in your most important season of change, but there aren't any medals or trophies on the outside yet, your brain panics. It starts screaming that nothing is happening and that you're falling behind. To really understand growth, you have to look at the Chinese bamboo tree. You plant the seed, and for 5 whole years, absolutely nothing comes out of the dirt. Instead of sprouting up, it grows down into the ground, building this incredible root system. Then, in that 5th year, it grows 27 meters in a single season. The bamboo didn't hurry. It knew that if it grew 3 feet in the first year just to please people, the first storm would rip it right out of the ground because its height would be greater than its depth. We only grow as much as we have roots. Carl Jung, one of the greatest psychoanalysts in history, said something you can't unhear once you know it. No tree can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell. That's not just a poem, it's a structural law of life. How high you can go depends entirely on how deep your roots are.
So, how do you build roots that strong? How do you actually help yourself?
The answer is in something wild Goggins did, which brings us to principle 2, the brutal mirror of responsibility. The most toxic lie the self-development industry feeds us today is that you have to be kind to yourself to grow. You've heard those motivational speakers tell you to look in the mirror when you're failing and say, "I am enough," or "I am successful." But when Goggins weighed 300 pounds and was making $25 a night spraying for cockroaches in restaurant bathrooms, he realized those positive affirmations were total crap. Those phrases don't work because deep down, you know when you're being lazy or just treading water. Telling yourself you're great is just a temporary painkiller that hides the infection under your skin. That night in his darkroom, Goggins threw away all the filters and the excuses. He stared into his own eyes in that mirror and said the most brutal things possible to himself. He told himself, "You're fat, you're lazy, and you're a liar. You're nothing, and nobody is coming to save you." That was the birth of the accountability mirror. The darkroom isn't a massage parlor. It's a surgery room where you have to cut open your own pain without any anesthesia. To make sure he couldn't run away from that mirror, he set up a crazy mechanism. He bought those little sticky notes, and every night he'd write down every weakness, every fear, and every hard task he had to do. He'd stick them right on the mirror. He'd write things like, "You quit today because you're weak. Tomorrow, you run an extra 5 kilometers." The next morning, the first thing he saw wasn't his sleepy face. It was the reflection of the cold, hard truth on those papers. He wasn't allowed to take a note down until he actually finished that extra 5,000. That mirror became his daily courtroom, a place where he couldn't lie to the judge. Let's be real. We are all masters at justifying our own crap. We tell ourselves we were tired, the weather was bad, or our boss is the problem. But principle 2 is a reminder. No growth happens until you face the scariest, ugliest version of yourself and call out your weaknesses by name. Real growth starts with brutal self-acceptance. But eventually, while you're shedding your skin in the darkroom, you hit a wall. You feel like your energy is gone, your body hurts, your brain locks up, and this voice in your head starts saying, "That's enough. You're done. You've hit your limit." How do you stop that? That's principle 3, David Goggins' 40% rule. This rule says the deadliest mistake you can make is trusting the voice of fatigue. Goggins discovered this terrifying truth. Your brain is a professional liar. The reason it sets off the stop alarm so early is because it was designed for survival, not for breaking records or succeeding. When you feel like you've reached the end of the line, you've actually only hit about 40 or 50% of your real capacity. Half of your energy is still sitting there, completely untouched. It's like a speed limiter in a car. Manufacturers put them in so the engine won't go fast enough to damage itself, even though the engine is capable of way more. Our brains do the exact same thing. When we hit 40%, the brain magnifies the pain to make us quit because it wants to protect us. Now, scientific research might say it's not exactly 40% for everyone, but Goggins' point that the brain stops us way before we're actually done is 100% correct. To see how hard it is to break that deception, you have to look at the San Diego 100-mile race. Goggins went into it with basically zero prep. At the 110-kilometer mark, and yeah, he'd already been running for 110 kilometers, his kidneys were failing, the bones in his feet were cracking, and he was literally peeing blood. His brain, and honestly everyone else, was telling him to stop because he was hurting himself. And he really was. But Goggins is more stubborn than his own biology. He rebelled against his brain's lie, and instead of quitting, he stood up on those broken feet and finished the race. He said that was the moment he realized the wall of pain is actually a doorway into a whole new world of power he never knew existed. Look, we aren't all going to go out and run 200 kilometers or do the insane challenges Goggins does. But is our potential really as small as we think? Our deepest fear isn't that we aren't good enough, it's that our power is way beyond what we can even imagine. It's the light that scares us, not the darkness. Real growth doesn't happen in that first 40%. For most of us, that first 40% is just the warm-up. The reason average people never grow is that they stop there. But transforming into a new version of yourself starts the very second your brain says, "I can't do this anymore." The pain you feel in the darkroom isn't the finish line. It's you breaking that speed limiter and tapping into the hidden potential of your life. If you want to know what you're really capable of, test yourself in the moments where you have no choice but to try. That's when you'll realize you're so much stronger than you ever thought. This wasn't just a motivational video. It was something we needed to remind ourselves of after everything we've been through lately. Thanks for listening and for all the support. If this resonated with you, pass it on to a friend.